Remember, I'm talking to you about strategies when it comes to the SAT. There are many kinds of strategies for the exam. Some are more effective than others. Some people think that trying to memorize 1,000 vocabulary words is the way to go. I don't see a lot of logic in that. I also don't see the right kind of time in that. The word of the day problems, I think there's some use to that because you get things in digestible chunks, but do you remember what the word of the day was 12 weeks ago? Do you remember what the word of the day was 2 weeks ago? Maybe. It's possible. But what if those words aren't on the test? Then what? So what I do with everybody that I work with is we analyze the sentence with pretty serious detail. So what you're looking at with something like this is the sentence with clues in it. Now this is one of the more difficult ones. Look at the vocabulary right away. If the vocabulary words are out of your range, the only hope you can have is with the sentence. So if you have some critics of congressional proceedings contend that important debates on issues are marred by a blank of denunciations and accusations that precludes blank discourse. Well, this one has clues in it. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily easy, but look, okay, some critics of congressional proceedings, so they're being critical of it. They have problems with it. The congressional proceedings are not going well. Marred, another key word here. I think precludes is worth your time, and then discourse. If these words are troublesome, the whole sentence is going to be a problem. We have our ways of trying to figure out what sentence is what type, right? Compare, contrast, cause and effect, time sequence, restatement, and illustration. I don't know if it'll work for these, but these are the kinds of things that I always look for in these kinds of problems. So we're talking about people who are critical of what's going on in the congressional proceedings. So it's something bad. Well, marred is a key word. That's something wrong or going poorly. You've got two blanks. I don't see a comma anywhere in here. That's going to be a problem. So at the end of the day, if this question is too difficult for you and you don't get anything from the sentence, you should skip it. If you are able to work your way through it, you'll see that the critics are talking about the debate being marred by some kind of wild kind of noise that precludes, that blocks some kind of good or normal discourse, discussion. Well, orderly discourse is what you're looking for. You're not necessarily looking for repetitive or libelous. Meaningful works for the second half. Expendable doesn't. Meaningful does. Libelous doesn't. Repetitive doesn't. And orderly works. So now you're down to 2. Paucity is a lack of. Cacophony is a huge amount of crazy noise. Well, here you have a limited amount of denunciations. That would be good. So a cacophony is a crazy amount of noise. The answer goes to E, and you have answered this difficult question correctly. Come to thefreelanceteacher.com. I'll walk you through more of these kinds of things and get your score higher.